You know what's wild? Adobe used to be the name in creative software. If you didn't use Adobe, you were a joke, a hobbyist, a peasant. But now, Adobe's not the king anymore. It's becoming more of the dinosaur, stomping around, bloated, slow, and acting like the meteor isn't already on its way. And that meteor is called innovation. AI tools, new editing platforms, and creators who are just plain sick of being milked dry by a subscription that costs more than Netflix, Spotify, and Disney Plus combined, and possibly even without ads. It's crazy. So today we're going to talk about why Adobe's dying and why. If you're a marketer, you need to start learning new platforms right now before you're left behind. So let's rewind for a second. Adobe was the future once. Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, I used them all, and they were at one point the holy trinity of creative dominance. You wanted to edit a video? Premiere. Design graphics? Photoshop. Do anything remotely professional? Adobe had you by the wallet. But that's exactly where they went wrong. Instead of evolving with creators, they turned the creative process into a never-ending payment plan. You don't own your tools anymore, you rent them. And somehow Adobe convinced an entire generation, my generation, that paying hundreds every year for software updates that mostly add new bugs was normal. I mean, seriously, half of Premiere's updates feel like they're just renaming the same buttons and hoping you don't notice. Then came the breaking point: privacy scandals, AI backlash, and flat out greed. Remember when Adobe got caught using people's art to train their AI without consent? Yeah. Turns out that whole "we value our creators" line was bullshit. They literally took the creative world's soul and fed it to Firefly. And let's talk performance. Premiere crashes more than an intern driving a company Tesla. Photoshop still feels like it's from 2012. And somehow it takes longer to render a 30-second clip in 2025 than it did in 2018. That's what happens when a company stops competing and starts coasting. Adobe's become the Blockbuster of creative software, sitting on a legacy library while everyone else streams their content in 4K. Meanwhile, while Adobe was busy counting subscription renewals, everyone else was playing catch up. DaVinci Resolve went from that color grading app to a full-on editing beast. It's what I use practically every day. It's faster, smoother, and this part's hilarious, actually free. CapCut became the go-to for TikTok editors. Descript made podcast and video editing feel like working in a Google Doc. Canva basically replaced InDesign for 90% of marketers overnight. And now you've got AI tools like Runway ML, Pika, and Sora generating entire video scenes in minutes. You don't need an Adobe degree anymore. You just need curiosity and the willingness to learn what's next. Now, here's where marketers come in. This isn't just a software war, it's about the speed of creativity. In marketing, speed is power. Campaigns that used to take weeks now need to launch in hours. Brands don't really care what you edit on. They care how fast you can deliver, how well it converts, and how cheap it was to produce. So when a new platform comes along that lets you do in 10 minutes what took an hour in Premiere or After Effects, guess what? You're gonna switch. Because in marketing, loyalty doesn't pay, results do. The new generation of tools isn't just cheaper, they're collaborative, AI assisted, and built for modern workflows. You can run entire ad campaigns, video, graphics, captions, even music without ever touching Adobe Creative Cloud. That's also not the future, that's right now. And yet, Adobe doesn't seem to get it. Instead of simplifying, they keep adding bloat. Instead of innovating, they just buy competitors and ruin them. Like seriously, look what happened to Figma. It was the most exciting design tool in years, and Adobe's like, what if we just killed that energy? They built an empire on creative dependence, but creators are realizing they don't need Adobe anymore. When your company is worth billions and your biggest innovation is a new logo, that's not leadership, that's just plain laziness. Now let's talk AI, because this is where Adobe really screwed up. AI was their chance to reinvent themselves. Instead, they turned it into a PR nightmare. While companies like Runway, Midjourney, and Pika were building communities, Adobe was sneaking AI into terms of service, quietly feeding user data into models, and pretending it was ethical AI. And here's the kicker. Adobe's AI tools aren't even that good. They're like, generate background, and the results look like a PowerPoint slide from hell. Meanwhile, competitors are letting you generate full videos, storyboards, or entire ad concepts with just a few prompts. Adobe's too busy protecting its kingdom to realize it's being surrounded by creators who don't want kingdoms, they want freedom. The world has changed. Creativity isn't gated behind $600 software suites anymore. It's everywhere and it's accessible. You can design in Canva, edit in CapCut, animate in Runway, and color grade in DaVinci, all for less than the price of 1 month of Adobe's All Apps plan. That's insane. The creative revolution isn't about tools, it's about access. And Adobe's entire business model depends on limiting it. But when creativity becomes accessible, power shifts. Suddenly, the underdog marketer with no budget can produce content that rivals an agency charging 10 grand. That's not bad for business, that's terrifying for gatekeepers. So what do you do as a marketer? Simple, evolve. If you're still clinging to Adobe because that's what professionals use, you're missing the entire point. Professionals adapt. They find what works best, fastest, and smartest. Learn DaVinci, learn CapCut, learn Canva Pro, Runway, Pika, whatever's next. Get ahead of the curve before it becomes the curve. The marketers who thrive in the next decade won't be the ones who mastered the old ways. They'll be the ones who ditch them first. Adobe's biggest strength, its legacy, has become its weakness. They built the tools that built the internet, but now they're being buried by it. They're clinging to the past while the rest of us are busy creating the future. The truth is, Adobe is not dying because they're bad. They're dying because, in a way, they're comfortable. And in creativity, comfort kills. Every marketer, creator, and entrepreneur watching this should take that as a warning. Don't let comfort become your cage. Here's the truth. Adobe won't vanish tomorrow. They'll still make billions, and they're still gonna have users. But they've lost something they'll never get back: trust. Creators don't trust them. Marketers don't respect them, and the next generation doesn't even need them. So if you're serious about staying relevant in marketing, in content, in creativity in general, start learning new platforms. Experiment, evolve, adapt. Because the creative world is moving with or without you. And Adobe's still buffering. Thanks for watching. If you're still using Adobe, drop your monthly therapy bill in the comments, and I'll see you in DaVinci. As always, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.